Hi, I'm Irishka. Today I talk about what does it mean being human, what differentiates us from other animals. There is a lot has been said about it and written, and there are lots of opinions on what it actually means to be a human. Today I'd like to talk about one very special attribute that we humans possess. It is compassion. And compassion in this sense, I mean our ability to put ourselves in another person's or being's shoes, even if we don't have to walk in them or don't want to walk in them. I have recently came across upsetting scene. I was in the park where I normally walk my dog Cosmo, and I saw a man behind a little monument, lying on the grass with his dog. I saw shopping trolleys around him, which suggests he was homeless, even if for the night or a week. I felt deeply upset, mainly for the dog, because dogs and children are the only species, or the only beings of our species, rather, who are most loyal and dependent on us. My immediate thought was to run to the shop and get a big bag of food for the dog and give it to the man, but the shops were closed for another 2 or 3 hours, and I had no idea if the man was going to be there when I come back. I couldn't hold tears. I just didn't know what to do. Then I thought to New Age teachings that we all make our choices, and that thought was related to the dog. And that what made me realize that yes, it's true, we all make choices, and it is true that our life is built on consequences of our choices, not necessarily choices themselves, and we have to respect that. But as humans, we can be compassionate for people having to make choices. And my second thought was, nobody's choosing to be laid off work. Nobody's choosing to not have money to put food on the table because they suddenly got a mail from their boss that they no longer needed at their workplace. So looking deeper, I have realized that that wasn't the choice. The choice was before that. The choice was to assume that work is going to be permanent. The choice was to live beyond means and perhaps borrow more for the mortgage than could be repaid, or not watching spendings and not saving money for rainy day. And yes, most of us, or some of us, or many of us have been in similar situation, not necessarily money related, but it could have been relationship or friendship or anything. We could come to the shop during COVID with having all the money in the world and not being able to buy eggs or toilet paper or whatever it was. So the compassion part in this way is to put ourselves in another person's shoes, not having to walk in them, but to realize that that person made choice, and simply respect that at the time the person didn't know the consequences of their choices.